Title: Kate Middleton finally breaks her silence. The childhood poster rumor exposed. Okay, Royal Watchers, this is the story you didn't know you needed today. For years, one of the most oddly specific, and honestly kind of adorable, rumors about Kate Middleton has floated around the internet like royal folklore. And now, she's finally addressed it. Yes, we're talking about that rumor. Did young Kate really have a poster of Prince William hanging in her bedroom before she ever met him? Because if that's true, this isn't just a love story. This is Destiny-level, rom-com, fate-written in the stars type of drama. And trust me, you're going to want to hear how this whole thing actually played out. So, let's rewind for a second. Before she was the Princess of Wales, before the palace, before the world watched her every move, Kate Middleton was just a regular girl growing up in the UK. Well, regular with a twist of elite education, of course. And at the same time, Prince William was the most eligible bachelor on the planet. A real-life prince, constantly in the spotlight, and basically the ultimate teenage crush for millions of girls around the world. Including, maybe Kate? Because somewhere along the way, a rumor started gaining traction that young Kate had a poster of William in her bedroom. Let that sink in. The future princess crushing on the future king before they even met. Cue the fairy tale music. But was it true? Or just another internet fantasy we all wanted to believe? Now here's where things get interesting. For years, this rumor followed Kate around like a shadow. Every time their love story came up, someone would mention it. Headlines hinted at it. Fans debated it. And honestly, it just made their relationship seem even more magical. I mean, imagine falling in love with someone who is literally your childhood crush. That's the kind of story Hollywood tries to write. But the royal family? They don't usually address things like this. Especially something so personal. So the rumor just sat there. Unconfirmed. Unchallenged. Growing bigger over time. Until finally, Kate decided to say something. In a rare moment of candid honesty, Kate Middleton addressed the rumor directly. And her response? It was not what people expected. She actually laughed it off. Yes, laughed. According to her, the whole poster of Prince William's story? Completely blown out of proportion. She clarified that she didn't have a poster of William hanging in her bedroom like some love-struck superfan. In fact, she suggested the idea was more fiction than reality. And here's where fans leaned in. Even though she dismissed the exact claim, she didn't exactly shut down the spirit of it either. Because let's be honest, growing up in Britain during that time, it would have been nearly impossible not to know who Prince William was. He was everywhere, on TV, in magazines, constantly talked about. So while Kate may not have had a literal poster on her wall, the idea that she was aware of him, maybe even a little intrigued, that part doesn't feel so far-fetched. And fans? Oh, they had thoughts. Some were like, okay, sure, Kate, no poster, we believe you, with a wink. Others were a little disappointed. I mean, the idea of the future princess secretly crushing on her future husband since childhood? That's peak fairy tale energy. But honestly, Kate's response just made people love her even more. Because instead of feeding into the fantasy, she handled it with humor, grace, and just the right amount of mystery. Classic Kate. Now, you might be thinking, why does this even matter? It's just a silly rumor, right? Well, not exactly. Because this story taps into something much bigger. The public has always been fascinated by Kate and William's relationship. Not just because they're royals, but because their love story feels relatable. They met at university. They dated for years. They broke up. They got back together. And eventually they made it work. It's not some arranged royal marriage. It's a slow burn romance. So when a rumor like this pops up, that Kate might have admired William long before they met, it adds another layer to that narrative. It turns their story from college sweethearts into something that feels almost destined. And people love that. But here's the thing. Kate's response reminds us of something important. Not every royal story needs to be a fairy tale to be meaningful. In fact, sometimes the real story is even better. Because instead of a girl dreaming about a prince from afar, we have a woman who met someone in real life, built a relationship over time, faced challenges, and came out stronger on the other side. That's not just romantic. That's real. Also, let's be honest for a second. If you ended up marrying a literal prince you knew about as a teenager, would you admit to having a poster? Or would you be like, nope, totally casual, just happened, faced with tears of joy? Exactly. This whole situation also highlights how quickly stories can grow when it comes to the royal family. One small idea, one tiny rumor, and suddenly, it becomes a global narrative that follows someone for years. And even when it's addressed, the myth doesn't completely go away. Because people don't just love facts. They love stories. And this one, it's just too good to let go. At the end of the day, whether Kate had a poster or not doesn't really change anything. Because her story with William is already one of the most talked about modern royal romances. It doesn't need extra embellishment. But still, there's something undeniably charming about the idea. A young girl growing up, watching a prince from afar, only to one day stand beside him as his partner, his equal, and the future queen. Poster or no poster. That's pretty incredible.
So, what do you think?
Was this just a harmless rumor that got out of control? Or do you think there might be a tiny bit of truth hiding behind Kate's denial? Let me know in the comments below. I'm dying to hear your takes. And if you love royal gossip, behind-the-scenes drama, and stories that blur the line between fact and fairy tale, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Because trust me, the royal world always has another twist waiting. And you don't want to miss it. Until next time.
Crown.